Hello there and good afternoon. There are calls for the Shadow Health Minister, Diane Abbott, to resign over comments she made on Twitter. This is the tweet which caused controversy, part of an online conversation following the Stephen Lawrence trial. Responding to a discussion about people using the phrase the black community, Diane Abbott said this: "White people love playing divide and rule. We should not play their game." Well, Diane Abbott spoke to Sky News this morning to clarify what she meant. She was speaking on a different subject, but by way of a final question, we asked her about the race route.
Can you understand the consternation that your tweet has created?
Well, I was actually referring to the nature of 19th century European colonialism, but that's a bit much to get into 140 characters.
But if you look at it out of context, saying white people love to divide and rule is a pretty controversial remark if people don't see it in context. Do you accept that it was not a wise thing to put out there?
I think the tweet was taken out of context, and some people have interpreted it maliciously.
Well, explain for us then, and for viewers who are talking about this, so there's a lot of Twitter activity going on. Explain to us what you actually meant by the comment. Sure. Yeah.
Can I just...
Well, who was on the phone? Let's bring in Sophie Ridge, our political correspondent. Sophie, who was calling her at that most opportune of moments?
Well, I've been told that the person on the other end of the line was actually Ed Miliband, who was phoning Diane Abbott to give her what a source close to the Labour leader says was a severe dressing down. I'm told that he phoned her up personally and he made it clear that she had to apologise unreservedly to him, to the party, and also to anybody who she may have offended by it. Now, that, of course, has happened. Diane Abbott issued an apology soon after, but clearly it shows, I think, the anger in Labour of the remarks that were made by Diane Abbott and the fact that they're taking them quite seriously. Labour have also put out a statement themselves, though, where they say that we disagree with Diane's tweet. It's wrong to make sweeping generalisations, but they do say the Labour Party has always campaigned against such behaviour, and so has Diane Abbott, which I think does indicate that they don't see this as a resigning issue or a sacking issue at the moment. That, of course, is in contrast to many people within the Conservative Party who feel that this is a borderline racist remark that she made on a public forum on Twitter and that she should pay the price. That's certainly what the Conservative backbencher Nadeem Zahawi told Sky News earlier.
She's in a very high-profile position. She's in a position of political leadership. She's a shadow minister. To hold views that white people play games of divide and rule is blatantly racist. It is outrageous. If this was reversed, I guarantee you a white politician would have to resign their front bench position or be sacked. And I think she should do the honourable thing and go.
Sophie, Nick Clegg has called her comments crass. That presumably is where the matter rests.
Well, I think it is for the moment. It does seem that she's apologised. Many of the people who took to Twitter earlier in the day to say that she should resign have been satisfied by the apology that she's given. And obviously Labour are very keen to try and distance the Labour leader, Ed Miliband, from the comments to really underline the fact that he doesn't agree with them and he's just as appalled by them as anybody else is. But make no mistake, I think there's still some concern within the Labour Party about the way that this has been handled. Many people think that they were just simply too slow off the mark to come up with this apology and to really nip it in the bud, as it were. In these days of social media, it's very quickly that some stories like this can really escalate and become big problems. And this vacuum that we had this morning, I think, really allowed other voices, such as Nadeem Zahawi's, as we heard there, to kind of fill the airwaves, criticising Diane Abbott, saying she should resign, and yet we didn't hear anything from Labour.
Sophie, thanks very much indeed.